Cooper, your mood. Hey friend, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new, so you can subscribe. The button is always down below. Post beauty, lifestyle, panning, and more. And today's video is finally the halfway mark of the year. Honestly, even more than that, since we're practically the halfway point through July, but I'm gonna be doing my makeup inventory for the halfway point of the year, which I think is my only second year doing the halfway point. I used to just do it in January and then do it again the next January, but I decided against that last year, and I think it's good to have like a checkpoint to see like how you're doing, how your collection is growing, and stuff. And I like to kind of set goals for myself. You never have like stern goals, because like obviously I like trying out new makeup, I like testing new makeup. That's the same thing, Katie, what are you thinking? I like collecting makeup is a better way to put it. So I like testing it, collecting new things, and I like, you know, I like to, I don't know, like makeup is kind of like a therapy in a way. Like I like to try new things and play with new things, and in my free time, it's like what I like doing, I guess. It's a good way to put it. If you hear like heavy breathing, Cooper is right behind me, breathing very heavy. So that's what that is. Hopefully you can't hear it, but that's what he's doing. Right, Coop? So yeah, let's just get right into it. So per usual, I'm pulling up the spreadsheet on my laptop. And I say this every year, but I always have the goal of showing, like inserting pictures or whatever of my collection in the different categories, but I don't always do that. So starting off with primer, I do own 3 currently. I actually kind of want to declutter one of those so that number could go down soon. But I do own 3, and then in the beginning of the year, I just had 1. I like where I'm at with this number. Like I'm happy with this number, so I don't know if I will change that at all. Possibly declutter the 1, and then actually the other primer I have in my collection is the one I just received in my Ipsy, and that one is the sample, and then I have a full size, so I'm pretty content with that number. I don't really expect it to grow or want it to grow, but if it does, it does. I don't really care. It's kind of one of those things where I'm happy with the number, but I don't really care if it grows or if it decreases. Foundation, I have 6. I actually started out with 6, but I think what happened with this one is I'd received samples that I'd use those, so that never really counted into this number. So I do have 6. I have used up some since then, and I've also gained some since then. So we're at 6. I'm happy with 6. I don't really want the number to exceed 10. That's just my personal preference. So for concealers, I started out this year with 2, and now we're at 4. And 2 of those are the same concealer samples I got in Ipsy. My mom also didn't like hers, so she gave it to me, so that's just how that happened. And I'm trying to use one up right currently, just in my own like non-official project pan, but I'm trying to use up one since it's not my favorite shade. And then I think I have one other full size, so that's where the 4 comes from, and I'm happy with that number. There are a few concealers that I kind of want to try right now, but I have used up 1 so far this year. I think just the 1, so I'm pretty content with that. Eye primer, I do have 2 of these. I actually have 1 on my radar that I kind of want to purchase, but I haven't done that yet, and I don't know when and if I will. One's actually a sample, and then one's the e.l.f. one I've had for a bit that I'm actually trying to use up and stuff, and this number I'd like to keep it at 1 or 2. I don't really need more than that. So blushes, I have 18. We started the year with 10, and I was like thinking of this number, and I was thinking, how did we start out with 10? I didn't understand that number at all. I don't know where the 10 came from. I don't know how we went from 10 to 8. I guess I get a lot in Ipsy, but I was kind of confused about that number, not gonna lie. Bronzers, I have 2, and this isn't including ones and then a bronzer or face palette, but I do have 2 bronzers, and that number I'd like to keep pretty stable. I'm not like a huge bronzer person. I honestly would rather have a face palette with a couple bronzers and maybe like a mix of stuff, but I don't really need, like, I don't know. I use it, but I don't know. I'm not like a huge fan. So highlight palette, aka face palette. This number I counted as 2 because, you know, you got the bronzer palette and then you got like the contour highlight palette, and then I also have like a trio highlight palette. highlights, AK. Then we have highlighters, which that one is at 25. We went from 19 to 25, which I don't know how that happened as well. Like, I was like, how did that happen? How did I have 19? I guess I've gotten quite a few in Ipsy, as I have. And then also I have duos that are like blush and highlight, and I consider those like separate and stuff. I didn't want to make an extra category just for that. So that's why that's that. Single eyeshadows also had a major jump, but I decided to count these differently, I think, than before. So before it was 26 and now it is 42, because when I get duos and Ipsy, I count those as two separate shadows and stuff, because I don't really want to make a duos category because I feel like I just don't count my eyeshadows like that anyways. I consider them two separate shadows. So if there's a duo, I consider it two shadows. So that's why it is 42 and it is a larger number. I've also grown my single eyeshadow collection within the last 6 months to a year. So I've grown that collection as well. And yeah, I'm content with that number. I obviously want to keep using my single eyeshadows, but I'm pretty content with that. So palettes also saw a jump, and I'm like, how did this happen? But then I also remembered that I'm kind of counting these like mini 5-pan palettes as palettes rather than like smaller palettes. So I'm counting those as that. So I'm counting that like that, which is why we're up to 41. And I'm content with that number. Some people might be like, what? But I really am content with that number. I think that's a pretty good number to be at and stuff. I think that's a pretty good number, being that some people might have like 80 palettes. And this is a number that I'm like continually trying to get down. I've also got one palette on my collection this year. It was kind of bittersweet, which you've seen my Project Pan, or my Pan the Palette, I mean, update, you know why that's bittersweet, but it is a little bittersweet, but I am content with that. I've also added palettes in this year. I've actually feel like I've added it more in than I have, but you know, I'm pretty content with them. Will I probably add more palettes before the end of the year, which obviously we have like 5 more months left. That's inevitable to add more, but you know, we'll see. We'll see how much that grows, but I really don't care if it grows. So actually, the face palette number, now I'm thinking about it, would be more of a 1, because I'm considering like a highlight trio as a palette. And then I do have a contour palette selection, which I kind of forgot about, which would just be the 1, which is the Tarte one I have. So that's a number I like to keep stable. I feel like I don't really need more than 1. And I like the Tarte one, and I'm trying to actually use that more. Glitter glues, I have 1. Only gonna ever have 1. There's some categories where I will only ever have 1, and that's okay. And it's perfectly fine. Mascaras, I've actually decreased 1. I had 5 and now we're down to 4. This is a number I like to keep pretty stable. I don't have more than, I want to say like 5 or 6 in my collection, just because mascaras go bad between 3 to 6 months. I am interested in buying the new Essence one though, so that number could go up to 1 more, which wouldn't be bad because that'd be my starting number of the year. And a couple of mine are going to be hitting the like use up date within the next couple months, so that number will definitely go down, but I'm pretty comfortable with that. Glitters, I have 4. This is something I want to work on just because I have the Stila ones. I know those ones do end up going bad, but these are something that I kind of want to almost eliminate from my collection, use mine up, although I have been intrigued with a couple recently that I kind of want to buy that I've heard are good. But I think this number I want to keep pretty generally stable, and honestly eliminate, use mine up in whatever sense that is, just because I know they do go bad pretty quickly within like a couple years, and I've had some of mine for a bit. So that is something that I want to work on, just because they are going to go bad eventually. Eyeliners, I have 2 as well. I hardly ever use eyeliners, so for me this is something I like to keep pretty stable. Only like to have a couple just in case they do go bad. It's not like I have a billion. So that's how I feel about that. Shadow sticks, I have 1. I actually want to use that more just because I don't think I liked it when I first got it. So that could honestly be a declutter as well, but we'll see, we'll see. Then I have 11, like your typical bullet lipsticks. I have 11, a couple of them I think might be samples, but I have 11. That's a number I want to keep pretty stable. I basically use the same few bullet lipsticks. I like nudes and that's pretty much it. So that's where I am with that, and I'd like to work on that number maybe for the ones I don't use that frequently, but I pretty much only like bold lipsticks and I like more nudes these days. So lip balms, I have 5. I considered the e.l.f. ones more lip balms, and of course the chubby sticks that I have I consider lip balms. That's a number I do want to work on just because I'm not really a huge lip balm girl. I am curious about the Rare Beauty like lipstick lip balm thingy, so I could possibly purchase that, but it's on my radar but not necessarily on my list. I've just been more into that recently. Lip liners, I have 2. That's another number I'm keeping generally stable just because I don't really use lip liners too often, if at all, so keeping that stable. Lip oils, I have this ColourPop one. It's technically a lip oil, but I consider it more of a gloss, but it is a lip oil, so I'm putting it in this category, and I have 1. It'll probably always stay at 1. I don't really use lip oils that much. Liquid lipsticks, I have 16. That is down 1 from last year, or from January, and that previously at 15, we're now at 16. I actually just got a Rare Beauty one, a sample one my mom gave me, and that one is actually very comfortable, so I honestly am intrigued, but I definitely want to start working through my liquid lipsticks and trying to use some of them up just because I don't love liquid lipsticks, and I do think I should actually make a conscious effort to try to use them up because they go bad eventually, Katie. So yeah, I'd like to maybe get that number down to 10, but I know that's like a huge goal, so we'll see. But as long as I'm consciously using my makeup up, I don't really care. So glosses, I have 8. I love glosses. There are a couple that I would love to use up. Actually, I think this number might be 9 because I missed one. Same with the liquid lipsticks. I think that number actually might be 17 because I think I missed one with that. So 17 and 9. 9 glosses, actually, that's not too bad of a number for me. I love glosses. I actually think I might be using one up soon. So there's that, and I could see that number going up just because I am such a gloss fan. I really love lip glosses. I'm actually intrigued about a couple gloss formulas that I want to try. So the number could go up, it could stay stable, we'll kind of see, but I'm pretty content with that. I have 1 pigment. I hardly use it, but I definitely want to use that somehow soon. So I hardly use it, but I definitely want to make a goal of it to use it. And then I also have 1 setting spray I got recently. I only want this number to be like a 1 or 2 or 3, just because I don't need like 3. Even 3 is excessive. I don't need a ton of setting sprays in my life at the same time. I hardly use the 1. I recently got it because I wanted a setting spray again, and I really like that setting spray that I did end up getting, but I don't want it to be an excessive number. Also only have 1 brow pencil. I use that 1 brow pencil, actually a mini, consistently when my eyebrows get super overgrown and I feel like the inner part needs to be filled in. I will use it then, but it's not something that's a necessity for me. Honestly, a gel that's tinted does the job for me. And then illuminator, I do have 1, and I will probably only ever have 1 unless I find one that I think is super amazing. I love illuminators for like under makeup. I'll even use like liquid highlights for that. Put it under like makeup, like under foundation. I'll put it on like after primer just to give my skin a glow, and I love that look. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with where my numbers are at for right now. I'll definitely try to do more rankings through all this and do more like pictures of my actual full collection and stuff. I did just do that last year, but I'm actually very content where my numbers are at. Let me know how your collection is doing right now down below. I'd love to hear about how your makeup inventory is doing, how your collection, I guess, is growing or not, how that's going for you. I'd love to know. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Love these kinds of videos and stuff like that. I will have my project pan coming up. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like I said, please give it a thumbs up, all that kind of fun stuff. You can also follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active, Instagram and TikTok at KTXOBeautyYT. I've been doing lots of reels recently and having fun with them, like trying to like post-ish more than like, hey, I just posted a video, trying to do more like posts beyond that. So yeah, you should follow me over there. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.